Hello and welcome to the part number 45 of the Node Editor tutorial series. My name is Pavel Křupala from blenderfreak.com, and today we will have a look on how to create a context menu. So just with right click, as you can see here, we can create new nodes, which is perfect. Also, we are going to detect if we clicked on the node, so to create a different menu, and also if we click on the edge, so we can change them to the different types for Bezier, and we got also the direct edge. So I hope you are excited, and let's start coding. To enable the context menu, basically only thing we need to do is override a context menu event in our calculator subwindow, which is here. However, we are still going to print some debugs, so let's create a new debug context constant, and let's call it like this, set it to true, and now we can just define context menu event with event, and here let's put everything into try except block just to be safe, and we can ask for the item which we clicked on, which is going to be self.scene. And usually here we go to the graphics scene and ask for the views, and the first one and getting item at position. However, it would be nice to be able to ask directly the scene, and let's do it here, for example. So define get item at self and position, and we can return self.grScene.views, the first one, and item at, and pass in the position. We can also control find every place where we are using this function, and that's here, views, as drag listener, drop listener, and we should probably refactor these also. So let's go ahead again to the scene and add get view. So define get view, and here we can return self grScene.views, and the first one like this. And then instead of writing all of this code, we can just scene.getView like this. So get view, okay, and here we go. Get view, get view, same will go here. Node scene is this function, that's okay, and here node scene get view, and here is the last one, scene.getView. Perfect. Let's close all of these files, and let's go back to the calculator sub window, which is here. So scene get item at, and ask for pass in the event position, and if debug context, we are going to print item, and at the end just return super context menu event and pass in the event. So let's try to run it. Here we got Q graphic text item. Here it's working in the line edit. Here on the edge we got graphics proxy widget. Also we got it here. So let's close it up, and we can basically say that if type of the item is equal to Q graphics proxy widget, then the item is going to be item.widget like this. And basically we can say if has attribute item node, or actually we clicked on socket, so has attribute item socket. Then we are going to self.handle node context menu, and let's pass in the event. Otherwise, so elif has attribute edge, then we clicked on edge, so self dot, let me close this one here, self dot handle edge context menu, else if item is none, so we clicked on empty space. However, instead of this, let's just write else. So in any other condition that can happen, we are going to call self handle new node context menu and pass in the event again. Then we are doing whatever, and at the end, just end of the function, which is perfect. And let's create all of these functions here. So define this one, pass in self and event, and if debug context print context node, and let's copy this around a little bit. We got 3 functions, so the next one is edge, that one is here, and the new node context menu. So this was on empty space, this is on edge, perfect, like this. And let's try it again. Empty space, cool, node, 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 node. However, still we do use here our debug function, which we set in the graphic view, if I remember correctly, and it was on the right mouse button, which is here, right mouse button. So let's cut everything here and move it to the middle mouse button press, and just before we are faking the events for dragging. So these are faking events for enable middle mouse button dragging the scene, and this is debug print out. Okay, let's try it again. If I do middle mouse click on the socket, perfect, middle mouse click on the scene, this is working, and the right mouse button is printing out the context on the socket, on the node, even on the title, even here, and also on the empty space. So this works perfect, and let's go ahead, close these files and just try to fiddle around with these. So probably the easiest to implement is the edge. So first of all, let's create a context menu, which is going to be Q menu itself as a parent, and let's create action. So Bezier action, that's gonna be context menu.add action, and we can pass Bezier edge. Also we can do the same thing for the direct, so direct like this. Then we can just retrieve the action from the context menu, so context menu.exec underscore, and pass in self.map to global event.position like this. And after that we can say that selected is none, item is self.scene.getItem at event.position, and if has attribute item, edge, then selected is going to equal item.edge. So if selected and action is equal to Bezier action, then we can say selected dot edge type is going to equal edge type Bezier, And let's import these. So from node editor dot node edge import edge type direct and edge type Bezier, like this. And if selected action and everything, so copy it again, direct action edge type underscore direct, like this. And if we have a look in the graphic edge, here we should be able to find setter for edge type, and if we set it to something different, we automatically recreate graphical edge for the direct and Bezier, etc. and add it back to the scene, which is perfect. So everything is written in the edge side. Let's try that. Print input, output, put an edge there, and if I right click it, we got Bezier edge and direct edge. Let's choose the direct edge, and it changed. And Bezier, and we got back to Bezier 1. Perfect. So this is basically everything for the edge. For the handle node context menu, we can do almost the same thing. So I'm going to copy a bunch of lines here, and let's create the new actions there. And I would like to have the nodes to be able to be marked as a dirty and even invalid. And also we should be able somehow to trigger the evaluation function. So let's create operations like mark dirty, mark invalid, and also unmark invalid, and also eval. So let's rename them. Then the selected is going to be none. Item is going to be this one. Again, if type item equals to q graphics proxy widget, then the item is going to be item.widget. If it has attribute not edge but node, selected is going to be item.node. If has attribute item socket, then our selected node is going to be item.socket.node. We can print out if debug context, print out got item selected, like this. And let's try that. Node, node, node. Perfect. The socket is also node. And I've written everything to the new node context menu. So let's cut it and put it to the node. Let's try that again. And we got mark dirty, invalid, unmark, invalid, and eval. Got item node. Perfect. Got item, and even on the title we got item node. So this is working. Cool. And here we can write to do for all of the operations here, since at this point we don't have at the node class the functions for mark dirty, invalid, on etc. However, let's do the handle new node context menu. This one is going to be a little bit different. So we can basically say that the context menu is going to be self.init nodes context menu, and let's write everything in a new function. So let's go to the top here, just below the getNode class from data, and define this function. here we should say context menu equals to new Q menu with self, and we can go through each of the calc nodes, so we can retrieve the keys as a list of calc nodes dot keys. Because it's a dictionary, we do want to sort it first, and for each key in keys we can context menu add action, and here we can pass a list of values or settings for the queue action or directly the queue actions. And let's write self.node actions with key like this and return the context menu. So let's define the actions first here in this list. So define init new node actions, and we can say self node actions equal to empty list. Keys is going to be again list from calc nodes dot keys. We do want to sort them, and for each key in keys we can retrieve the node, which is going to be calc nodes key like this, and self node actions node.opcode is going to equal queue action, and as the first one we can pass in the icon, so queue icon node.icon, and then the title or the label, so node op title, and self.node actions with node.op code. We can even set data and pass in the op code, so node op code like this. Let's have a look. All of the functions use underscore, so let's rename this to node underscore actions like this. Perfect. Even this got rewritten. Then we do need to call this function, so let's do it after the title. Perfect. And once we have done this, we can handle new node context menu, ask for the context menu here, and this should retrieve our actual working context menu with the new node actions. So we can say action equals to context menu dot exec underscore self map to global event dot position, and if action is not none, we can ask for what's the new calc node. That's gonna be get underscore class from op code action.data, and let's initialize it with self.scene. The scene position is going to be self.scene.getView.map to scene and event.position. So this way we can retrieve the scene position where we clicked and say new calc node.set position scene pos.x and scene pos.y, and print selected node is new calc node. So let's try that, and we got some error here. Need new actions, list assignment index is out of range. Yes, because we do want to store it into dictionary. And right mouse button click input, and we got input node. How cool is that? We can create nodes just by right clicking like this, and we can also change it to different type of edges. And now I started to drag and it crashed. So perfect. We should definitely have a look at this. However, if we have a look at our result again, it looks really awesome, doesn't it? Yeah, that's cool. So that's gonna be everything for this part. I thank you for watching and see you at the next part.